Welcome to Be Who They Come To, where healing meets humor and spirit meets story. Oriana and Kelly are two friends who've stumbled, laughed, cried, and somehow found their way back to source. This podcast is a space to share the messy, magical journey of recovery, healing, and rediscovering themselves, and ideally, helping you do the same, with plenty of laughter along the way, because sometimes the best medicine really is a mix of soul work and a good sense of humor. And now, Be Who They Come To.
Good morning, friends. Thanks for joining us. Episode 3. Today we have a guest, Jason. He's a friend of mine, a riding friend, and him and Kelly actually have just been introduced this morning, and they've already fallen in love too. So Jason is joining us today just for some perspective and some humor, some ideas. And welcome, Jason.
Thank you.
So today's topic is accountability versus responsibility, or responsibility versus accountability. And one helps you grow and one keeps you stuck in the loop. And you can take responsibility for something, but not accountability. And sometimes people take accountability for something they weren't responsible for. And when things get hard and blame gets thrown around and things get messy, you can check out emotionally. And that's not good for anybody.
Nope, it is not.
So, Cal, if you had to describe the difference between responsibility and accountability, what would you say?
Well, my notes say responsibility, because sometimes I don't know, but I'm going to pretend that I chat GPT or whatever that thing is. Anyway, responsibility is shared action, and accountability is individual results. Is what what it means. And I mean, I don't know how to put it into words. That's why I did it. But usually I try and, you know.
This one was hard for us because we desperately wanted to do this subject.
Yeah.
But then, like, ChatGPT was spitting out things like at work, blah, blah, blah. And we're like, this does not resonate with us whatsoever. No. So we had to spin it a different way. And
well, it was more emotional.
That's it. We had to go at it from,
an emotional point of view. Yeah.
We wanted it to hit you in the feels, you know? Right?
What does that mean?
Right? Hit you in the feels.
You can't do that. Oh, I think it's illegal.
Right? hitting somebody? No.
I think it might be illegal. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's borderline, I think, in some senses.
Apparently, according to Canadian law, if you consent, you're fine.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, the best example we came up with actually was something like childhood wounds.
Mm-hmm.
We're not responsible for them, but we're responsible for cleaning them up. And we have to take accountability for that. You don't get to go around being a fucking asshole just because you had the shit kicked out of you when you were a kid.
Yeah.
Doesn't work that way.
God. Isn't that half of us a Generation X?
100%.
Like,
pretty much all of us.
Like when I was a kid, just to say, like, you know, in the houses, there used to be forks, spoons, or something like that. The big things decorated on the kitchen.
Yes.
I think we went through 8 cents on the back end of me. My grandmother had a killer, well before I think boomerang was a big thing. She had her slipper. Oh, yeah. She could peg me fucking 2 blocks down on the road and then beat my arse with it. And it was that rubbery one that could flip-flap. So she decided
and sometimes it's whatever they can grab, right? Whatever.
Yeah, like broomsticks, frying pans, whatevs.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Or just a cuff right in the back of the head, and they would look at me and go, "Are you stupid or something?"
Exactly.
Well, I think I
am now.
Right? And that's what was the norm for our generations. Right?
Yeah.
And obviously that leaves you with a few scars, you know? I don't know about you, Jason, but Kelly and I, we have a few childhood wounds.
A little.
I think we all have something of that, but I think the accountability is that you've acknowledged it and you've done your best not to repeat it.
Exactly.
I mean, you're going to slip. We're all freaking human in that sense. We're all going to have that little bit of a slip. But to be honest with you, to try and change it and account yourself for it too. Not saying that you're the victim of it and playing that card. Enough of that crap.
That's it. You got to own your shit.
You got to own it. Like, it doesn't matter. And people are going to go, oh my God, you're going to own somebody getting SA'd or something like that. And no, it's not that at all. You've got to own what has happened to you to know how to respond back. And you've got to own your actions after it.
Exactly.
It's owning your actions.
That's it. That's it.
That's exactly.
And there's people that won't even take responsibility for their actions, let alone take accountability for them. Right?
100%. Yeah, 100%.
So, and they
just changed the lightning of it, you know. Well, this was very bad. I'm not that bad, mate. You're still bad.
Exactly. Or you made me do it.
Yeah. What? Hello.
What?
Yeah.
You made me.
And I
do
think
it?
Another thing too is we're responsible for our triggers too, right? Like 100%. I think in society, everybody thinks that we need to accommodate everybody's triggers. And soften that, and we're responsible for those, whether it's expressing it or working on them. So, you know, but I think really we're responsible for our triggers as well.
Yeah,
and to manage those.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. Well, I find that when we're scratching or just indulging the first tip of our triggers, it's going to be bollocks. Like it's just going to be like, now it's your responsibility to own that response back from that trigger. And you've got to dig deep to release it. So now the trigger is there, but it's not like 100. You're now down to 45. And then you bring it down to like 15. And, you know, you just learn to because I can't control, I might have a trigger. Kelly might say it. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's how I'm going to react. She doesn't know me.
No,
she doesn't know my triggers. Like you can't blame her and put what happened to you on the fact that she said the word, or she said the situation, or she moved a certain way, or she looks a certain way. Like own your responsibility and your reaction to something, and take accountability on how you're going to deal with what happened for yourself.
Yep. I think what comes into play with that too, though, is emotional maturity.
Right. True enough. Yeah.
Emotional maturity, because if you haven't learned to take accountability, it's likely immaturity, and 100%. it takes work on yourself, and that can be years long. I know for me, it was many years of therapy, many years of shadow work. And, you know, now I'm able to control my reaction to things. If somebody's screaming at me an inch away from my face, I'm able to stand there and be calm and not contribute to the aggression in the moment, for example.
Right.
Yeah. When, when you want to have a conversation with somebody about something serious, and, you know, I'm able to approach it gently. You know, I have that softness about me that's come with working on myself to establish that kind of homeostasis of peace.
Yeah. A good temper tantrum's fun though once in a while.
I would love to have one.
To the groceries. Yeah, I'll fall in the Toy Story aisles at the grocery store and put my feet and kick the ground. Yeah, 100%.
But as long as you're accountable, you're good.
Yeah, and then I just get up and go, that's on me. Bye now.
Yeah. Thank you for your time.
Yeah. Hope you enjoyed the show.
And scene.
Yeah, exactly.
Jack.
I know. I haven't gotten to have a freaking good old temper tantrum, like a toddler temper tantrum, in quite some time. You know, one of those where the person looks at you and they're like, "Are you done now? Are you okay? You good?
Yeah.
You go." Yeah. And it's like, "I still love you. Are you good now? You got it out of your system? Okay, let's move along." You know,
I think as older as we get, we just need to do them like not in public. I think we need to refrain.
I'm just going to say, I'm in the bush or out on the lake or out on the bike yelling in my helmet.
Yeah. Oh God, the yelling in the helmet. The stories my helmet has heard. You know.
Yeah, I've done a video on that as well.
Probably.
Your helmet knows everything.
It does. It does. Just like if I'm in my truck. Oh God, sometimes the howling I do in my truck when I'm driving.
Yeah, I need to get a new vehicle that's soundproof.
That's why when you're driving, the sound of the road drowns it out. You're good. If you're parked somewhere, you're shit out of luck, man. People are going to hear you.
Yeah. It's we need soundproof vehicles now.
Yeah.
For all our trauma, for our Generation Xers.
Are Teslas soundproof? Yeah. Are Teslas soundproof? No.
No, you feel like you're in a wind tunnel.
Cybertrucks are bulletproof. That's what I was thinking. It was something Elon Musk invented was bulletproof.
There are a lot of
yeah,
whatever.
Exactly.
I don't know what the hell that is, but whatever.
Yeah, but
it's also, a lot of mirrors.
But when it comes to accountability too, it keeps you out of victim mode. You know, if you're able to own your actions, and again, owning something that you're not responsible for and not playing the victim, like we could easily, back to childhood wounds, be like, well, again, back to, you know, I had the crap beat out of me, so I get to act like an asshole for the rest of my life. Doesn't work that way. Doesn't work that way.
Yeah, but some people also turn that into that's the way it's supposed to go.
Right.
Yep, true.
And now we got to the point where getting a smack is now Child Protection Services gets called on you.
Yep.
But you know what? If you're looking even in the animal kingdom, the mother gives a smack to the kid when it's getting out of way.
That's true, eh?
Stupid.
Yeah.
I think responsibility punishment, like how the society is going now, they think they can have free speech and they can just do whatever they want. And they used to do cancellations on people. Right. Now they're finding that it's now you can have free speech, but what you said, own accountability, and they're not owning their accountability for it. They feel it. And that's what we fall into is what you were saying before about the maturity level of it. It just isn't there. You've got high school banter and people thinking they can, they're men or women, but they're dressed in mommy and daddy clothes. They're still kids in the head.
That's it. Yeah, a man in front of you, but he's really a boy. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Well, and then like that kind of sets the tone where we're at, because we have our own individual like responsibility and accountability, and when we're thrown into societal responsibility and accountability, it doesn't match for most of us.
No, because there is no responsibility or accountability in society right now. Even the freaking government's doing the same thing. So you know, like I don't care who's in office and stuff; they're all going to be dink. Like 100%. But you know, who goes responsible for themselves and shows themselves accountability matters to me. And other people that follow like on things have no accountability for themselves. So they take on other people's. So it's stupid. Like it's 100% stupid. I have just been always the kid, like growing up, like I got my arse kicked. But you know what? I look back at it and some of them, I needed my arse kicked. Like I was like, I got into the film industry and stuff like that because that was the only thing that toned me down. I got into sports because it was the only thing that toned me down. I got into karate because it was the only thing that toned me down. I needed that aggression a part of me. I mean, I wasn't the greatest kid in the world to fucking have, at all. I was Dennis the Menace times 1,000. Like I just, let's see what. And because another thing, I have no fear. Like, let's go. And like I was telling you, before, like I grew up in Lynn Valley and we had a big canyon there and it was a waterfall glacier fed canyon, and we would go diving where the waterfall hit into the water and there was so much undertow. There were so many rocks and boulders in there. You could easily bash yourself around and get caught in the undertow and not come up. But no, my best friend and I would climb a tree and go another 30 feet or 30 meters above that and then do aero back spins and hit the water. Like, hello.
But some people have that in them, just the no fear thing.
Yeah, but then it's also bollocks. Like, you're being stupid. And my dad,
but you know what? Like, I went skydiving and I won't jump off a 3-meter diving board. You know,
I could think that's another perception.
that's how fucked up is that, right? But when it comes to actually there's a fear with water, like bungee jumping, how they do it like over water and you're like a foot off the water when you're bouncing down. No fucking thank you.
Yeah, I don't have that safeguard. So
yeah.
So
you're broken. You're broken. Those are your
100%.
childhood wounds. Those are your childhood wounds.
100%. Right, 100%.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's just the way people are now acceptant of themselves, that they're allowed to stay broken.
Yeah,
right.
You're not.
Or stay unaccountable. As long as they say their thing.
Yep.
And their trigger, and you now are accountable for setting them off with their trigger, but they don't hold the accountability for themselves to fix that.
That's right.
Or to tone it, or to have accountability, or heal it.
That's it.
Well, we have
our job.
Well, we have a society too of enablers.
Yep.
Yeah, 100%, Cal. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
It's just enable. Oh, you don't like this? Okay, we'll change rules and laws and human rights because it doesn't fit. And so now we're trying to accommodate everybody individually, and it's a goddamn mess.
You can't. And then what is wrong with having differences?
Exactly.
Nothing. We used to have them all the time.
With knowing somebody's trigger or pain to help them cater it, but you're not giving them the room to just continue that way, but you'll accommodate them or help them to get through it. Yeah. But I'm not going to sit there and just.
But you know what it takes too, and a lot of people are afraid to say it, is calling people out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Calling people out. People don't like to be called out. Yesterday, Jason, just yesterday, you called me out. And I'm like, I can appreciate that. I appreciate constructive criticism about myself. I'm able to own that and be like, you know what? I am fucking doing that. I am doing that. I shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah. Right. I do that too. Yeah.
And that's one thing about mine and Kelly's relationship as well. We hold each other accountable. She'd be like, no, this is what you're doing. You're not actually doing that. This is what you're doing. And you're doing that because you're feeling like this. I'm like, wait a minute. Fuck, you're right. Now I have to fix that.
And it's like, what are you looking for at this moment?
Yeah.
Like it's being like, what do you need right now? Because sometimes what we need right now is not what we need right now, if that makes sense.
No.
Yeah.
And it was just.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Jason.
I said one thing, like, I'm always one to take my accountability. I may not like it. I may not, but I did it. Like I did
you don't
it.
Have to like
need to own it. Like, and that's used against me as well in very many ways. Like I goofed around and I broke my dad's expensive guitar that he got. And he's like, what happened here? I'm like, oh, that's me. 100%. I was trying to do something. I totally effed up. And like I already had my arse, my belt buckle done down and my ass showing. Go ahead, kick it. Like I deserve it. That was all me. And one thing my parents can actually say is when something's wrong and I say I didn't do it, they know.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. You're a credible person. And maybe that's what responsibility and accountability equates, is a credible human being.
Right. But then it's also used against you with the type of relationships that I was falling into. They'll half story and I agree to it. And the member's like, well, that's you.
Right.
When you're not hearing the whole story.
Yeah, that's it. Half truths. And you gotta whole ass it. We talked about that the other day too. Like you don't get to, and I think accountability and practicing accountability and regular, practicing of accountability, I think it leads to integrity. I think Kelly crapped out there for a second.
I totally agree with you on that.
Yeah, it leads to integrity. And like you said, then people can count on your word.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
because
I grew up in a day a handshake and your word was the contract. It was who you are. And I learned that a lot through the French side of my family.
Right.
Like my dad didn't have to be with my mother. I was 3 years old already. This is someone else's kid type thing.
Right. Yeah.
So, and he took the ownership and he was still a teenager basically. And back in that day, he took that responsibility. His father took me in as already a grandson at that point. And I learned, that's why my one sleeve will be my French grandfather, is I learned all that from that side of the family.
Yep.
So who I am is because of this gentleman, my mom's dad, and Rick, my father. And I will always call him father. I don't call him, my stepdad or anything. That man, I think I said it once when I went to go look for my biological father. I said, my grandfather told me, any man, any guy can have a kid. It takes a real man to raise a son.
100%. Amen to that. Yeah.
And that was my dad. That was 100% my dad. So I carry his name with pride. And that's how I learned to take ownership and responsibility. Because I even said to my kids growing up, if I have to investigate and it falls on you, oh my God, are you in trouble? You've wasted my fucking time.
Yeah, exactly.
You're going to get in trouble regardless. Now,
that's it.
Take your switch.
Take the lashing, so to speak, accept it, own it, and let's move on. There might be some shame attached to that. But when you talk about it, when you own it, it almost cancels out. We'd be like, you know what? Yeah, I fucked up. I'm sorry. I hurt you. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have said that, but I did. Yeah. And it was immature. It was whatever. And I own it. How can I make it better?
Yeah.
How do I fix this? Is there something I can do to fix this?
Yeah. And I think the only thing that you can fix if it's talking about a relationship, either with your child or with yourself, is don't do it again. Do your best and make sure that you acknowledge that you're going to fall in that same pattern and get the fuck out.
That's it. That's it.
I tell my kids because kids like to use, I'm sorry. And I'm like, sorry means you won't do it again then.
Yeah, sorry, the word in my house.
Yeah. Well, it comes down to too, like, you do it once, it can be a mistake. You say sorry. More than once, it's it's a problem. More than twice, it's a pattern.
Yeah. Right. Right.
And it's the patterns of behavior that I think are a problem too, right?
Mm-hmm. And that's another thing that's hard to get out of is the pattern of it. Yeah. And it's your responsibility to fix that.
Yeah.
There's no one else's.
I think too, if you're an avoidant and your go-to has always been to deflect, and not take accountability, if you've got a lifelong history of that, that becomes part of your personality, right? It just becomes part of your character. And I think it's very difficult for people to come out of that. And you need patient people around you to help you with that. But I think too, that's where maybe some conventional medicine, like talk therapy, comes into play.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or if you're going to look at it from a spiritual side, shadow work, right? Mm-hmm. And it's I think it takes and I said it just earlier too. It takes a lot of that to get to that point, to learn accountability, because it can be taught. Right. It's not, some of us just have it. Some of us don't, with us, Cal, I think we began to learn it at a young age because of things that we've been through. We learned that, but I think, I learned it from myself, to be honest. It was not taught to me.
I think that's where it should start.
Yeah. And I taught myself, because I learned very quickly that if you own your mistake, you have more integrity and your word means more. People respect you more.
Well, you feel that more integrity about yourself.
Yeah.
And you start feeling better about yourself.
That's it.
And again, the only thing that matters and the only thing that is the same in any situation is you. Change it.
Yep.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's it.
Well, and that's where, and some people are unaware.
Exactly. Self-awareness.
and that's where, emotional immaturity breeds.
That's right. 100% agreeable. Yeah.
Yeah. It breeds into gaslighting, ghosting, codependency.
100%. Yep.
Yeah,
I agree fully.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. And then, once you work on some of those things, and sometimes, people will unintentionally ghost or gaslight, so to speak, because that's all they know.
Well, of course. When you bring evidence, like factual things about what they've said or done,
right,
and they can't take that accountability, I think, like you said, they've been raised in it so long that it's part of their personality, and then boom, they deflect or gaslight you.
Yeah,
right,
because that's all they know, instead of now worrying about what they said or how they did it so they can maintain it instead of worry about what they said and did and fix it and feel better about it and make the relationship of their self better. But they don't do it. They just don't.
No. It's about self-work.
Yeah, absolutely. And we were just talking last night, and when somebody lacks accountability, it looks like a bunch of bullshit and excuses. That's what it looks like, really, what it comes down to.
And then eventually you just get tired of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's it. You can only handle so much. Right.
Yeah. And I mean, it's funny. Where did we learn about responsibility and accountability? Right. Like, because I think we were all fairly young when we learned to be
I think it starts with it was our parents' responsibility to raise us, to protect us, to feed us, to house us, right? That's a responsibility. Can they take accountability for the wounds they inflicted on us during that time? Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah, but it also falls on the generation, I think.
It does. That's huge. I think more of us are becoming self-aware now. But I think the whole woke, not woke thing is plays on that.
Well, I think that's a cause of people overdoing and making their parents, the generation before me, over accountable for how they are. So they want to change. They want to make it all different. So we have timeouts. We have all this other thing going on.
Yeah, we're overcompensating.
We don't have a first place in a race. Everybody's a chance.
Participation ribbon. That's it.
You know what?
And hard work isn't valued, right? Like it's like, no, like you kicked everyone's asses because you trained longer than everybody. You put in the work. The sweat equity, right?
Right. And if you don't do that, applying yourself to make yourself a better person, then you just have to be DNA walking around and throwing your mouth out. That's just how it ends up happening. You're not taking accountability.
Right.
So,
exactly.
We just allowed, it's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's okay. How do you feel? What's your thing? Look, he's being a twat. Like, seriously.
That's it.
Smack him and call him out on it.
That's it. But people don't like being called out.
No.
They don't like being called out.
Right.
Yeah. And I will call myself out. Like last night at dinner time, my son was pissing me off. He was picking on his brother, which happens from time to time. And just like, why are you doing that? Just kind of stupid shit. And it got to the point where I was raising my voice and then I yelled at him. And I don't yell at my kids often. I'll raise my voice, but I don't yell at them often. And later I was like, that was kind of a shitty thing to do, I think, and I told him, I just said, you know what, I'm sorry I did that. I'm sorry I did that. But then he didn't say anything. I said, I'm sorry, Mom, for giving you attitude for no reason. I want to raise kids that can own their behavior, and that it's okay. Like he's a teenager. He's allowed to give me attitude. It's a rite of passage, like he's allowed to give me attitude. And I don't think that, I think too, with accountability, it's a matter of forgiving yourself too, like it's being graceful with yourself. You show yourself grace. It's like, okay, I fucked up. I'm going to forgive myself for that. And because you own it and because you have integrity, you're, in my mind, forgiven, quote unquote. Like it's hard for people to forgive themselves. And, I think that's a lot of our problem too, right? Is people who don't want to take accountability, struggle with owning it and then, forgiving themselves for it. It's like a parent who might have been abusive, for example, later in life, they said, you know what, it was my responsibility to protect you. And I didn't.
Right.
I didn't do it. And I'm sorry. I should have done better. And, I was emotionally or mentally absent. I myself was being abused or whatever that looks like. And, but how can I fix this? Again, what can I do? I will help you. But that person doesn't have to accept your help. They don't have to forgive you. No. They don't have to give you an out, so to speak. And then that's on you to be like, okay, I need to forgive myself because I've done everything I can to make this better, everything in my power to own it, and it's still not enough. And that's fine. They're entitled to that.
Right.
Yep, 100%.
Yep.
But also, I think going back to what you're saying about somebody doing that, I find in mine, sometimes it's really ugly to look at what you did. And sometimes you're really disgusted that it did. So what do? You gaslight or reflex because you just don't want to face it because it is that disgusting. It is that horrible. But if you can fix that and own it and put the words out there of acknowledging that you did that, there's a different light, but it's not commended. It's not shown to do that. What it is run away.
Yep.
Well, I think too what we're dealing with is generational trauma. And so it's hard to differentiate, okay, what's my parents' trauma? What's my great grandparents' trauma? What's my trauma? What what am I passing down? So it's really trying to
passing down,
we talked about this last night.
What it is.
Like we talked about triggers, and because I was really triggered yesterday, and I went on a tangent and just snowballed with childhood wounds and whatever, and the ugly crying was happening, and it was. Where was I going with this? I don't even remember.
We're talking about generational trauma.
Yes, and then we
which we talk about a lot.
we do, but then we also said to each other, we're cycle breakers.
Yeah,
we're cycle breakers because just because my grandpa treated my dad like shit, didn't give my dad permission to treat me like shit. But you know what? I'm not treating my kids like shit.
Right.
And there's that.
But there's no handbook about being a parent or being a person.
Oh, hell no.
If there was, we'd have beautiful sugar dumpling days and all this kind of crap. And to be honest with you, I'd kick that right to the fucking moon because I want controversy in my life. I like having that because that helps me see the light on something else and my reaction to it. It builds character for myself. But I'm the type that takes ownership for things. I'm the type that does all that kind of stuff. Now, am I perfect at it? Fuck no. Every day I'm growing, but I'm better than I was yesterday.
That's
exactly.
Like I'm learning, and that's all. And a lot of people, certain breeds of people, are not in the acceptance of that. And blaming my dad's raising culture, but here I look at it, I'm compassionate to it because he didn't know any fucking better.
That's
but is my dad the same dad that he was when he was 20? Fuck no.
No.
Exactly.
I think age, maturity, and growth has a big factor on who you stand to when you become 40, 50, 60, 70.
Sure.
That's it. And I've gotten to the point in my life where I have forgiven my parents for the shit that they did. For example, are they able to forgive their parents for the shit they did? I don't know. That's not my cross to bear. But I'm the type of person, I think, just like the both of you, where you see the humanity in somebody and you're able to identify, like that's their childhood wound or whatever. That's rearing its ugly head right now in this moment. But I think that also makes us susceptible to tolerating more than we should, because we're always seeing somebody else's humanity, like, well, they're yelling because of this, or they're avoiding because of this. And, I understand that. I know where that's coming from. But at some point you have to put your foot down and realize that, okay, I'm reaching too far here right now. I'm accommodating too much for this person. And that's when you have to own yourself and your shit and be like, okay, I'm not doing this to myself anymore. I can't do
it. Well, there's a lot of times. Yeah, there's a lot of times where I'm a people pleaser. I'm an overgiver. And I'm like, why do they keep on taking? Well, I'm allowing it. It's my lack of boundaries that they're doing that. Yep. So it's like you said, like it's just, you have to take accountability even when people are doing kind of shitty things to you.
Yeah.
You just disengage. Well, again,
it's back to how you react. It's your reaction that you need to own.
Absolutely.
It's the only thing you have control of. I don't have control of you. I don't have control of you. I only have control of my actions, my reactions, and my thoughts and my meanings.
Right.
So that's a tough one for a lot of people to do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I struggle with it. I still struggle with it.
Yeah. But it like I've said to you, Kel, too, before, like with the whole people pleasing thing, I learned a long time ago not to be a people pleaser because it gets you hurt in the end. People then develop expectations of you. And, then when you're not that way, it breeds resentment on your part. It's like, well, why are they like this? Well, you laid the groundwork for that,
Yeah. Your name becomes Matt.
That's it.
Right. Exactly.
That's it.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so I learned the difference between being nice and being kind. Right. And I don't like being nice. I am a kind person though, and I have empathy for people. I'm a big empath, and that's why back to the whole seeing the humanity in a person, right? You can love the shit out of somebody and see the humanity in them, but you have to take accountability for what the situation is, right?
Yeah, it's personal evolution. If you don't grow, you don't grow.
No, you don't. Yeah. And that comes down to doing the work. And having and through doing the work over the years too, you develop, I personally have the ability to articulate my feelings, and I have a good emotional vocabulary. Like I'm able to differentiate between anger, rage, hate, like it's a spectrum of feelings, right? And I'm able to talk about that. I have a good emotional vocabulary, but that's taken time. That's taken a lot of self-reflection and work. And not many people have that.
I'm not there. My face might be there. My face might be there, but really, I'm going to call you a cunt when you're a cunt.
Liar. That's different though. You're in the thick of you're a thick Irishman. So it's,
I have reservations. I have the ability to pull back and say, well, and sometimes I'm telling you, you know what, just go say it. Let's see what the fuck happens.
Yeah. Let the chips fall where they may.
Let's wind this puppy and let that top go. Let's see your spin. Like 100%.
Yeah.
Like, but I'll own that. Right. Like, okay,
a
situation of somebody that I was in a relationship for 14 years, that really terrible relationship. So she was on me about everything. Like I had facts about stuff and just throwing it like it was my problem, like it was my issue, just totally gaslighting and flipping me around and stuff like that. And she doesn't like small people, nor clowns. So I hired 12 to come in dressed like clowns on her birthday at 7 a.m, come into the bedroom and start singing happy birthday. Well, and I threw one of them on the bed to run up and bring her a little present. I was in crap like for a long time, but I own that. I enjoyed it. Was that mature? Was that proper? No, 100% wasn't. But it was for my own satisfaction. But I'll own that. Like I'll own that. I'll own that type of thing. And that's what I mean. Sometimes I caused the problem. And I own the fact that I caused the problem. But I'll never put it on someone else.
Right.
That's the difference between a lot of issues and stuff like that. People, they don't know how to say sorry. They don't. Right. And when they say sorry, it's just like I said before, it's words in my house. Your actions are more important to me than the words that come out of your mouth, because anything can be verbally diarrheaed out of your mouth.
Absolutely.
But your actions and your character are going to show me. Now, if you slip again, like what Or said, she said that, you do it once, okay, boo-boo. You do it twice, well, come on now. Like, are you recognizing it? And you went, oops, you slipped. But any more than really that, to me, is the same. And I agree that you're not, that's just who you are. Yeah. Like, you've got to take ownership of your flips. Like, and when I say sorry, like, I mean it. But I'm also going to say, like I say in almost every relationship that I start out, I'm like, look, I'm going to do my very best not to be a dick. But
sometimes
I'll let you know, I'm going to be, because I don't know what your level of dick is.
Yeah.
Or your level of an asshole is. I know mine.
Yep.
And what I would like to see happen, and but it's two people in different worlds that are going to join together and try and make it a one world. And there's going to be bumps, hicks, and
Absolutely.
cannonball fires at you. It's how you react and how your actions is. Like you were saying before in our little talk beforehand, walking away from the table is great. I commend it.
Yep.
Take
Absolutely.
the 5 minutes.
Yep. Take 2 hours, 5 hours.
Now, when you sit at the table, am I the problem or is the problem the problem? And if you come to the table and say, how are we going to fix it? This is how I see us doing that. Absolutely. You don't see, this is in taking ownership and ownership is when you do that, because you're looking for the better outcome for the both parties, and you're taking ownership of what you had to mix in the ingredients of the pie fuck and what the other person did. It's not,
that's exactly
it's
it.
not that one person. Now, in some situations it can be. But if you can come back and say something like that, you have my utmost respect at that point. Absolutely. In the relationship that I have now, in the lifestyle that I'm in, I have that. I have that no judgment. I have that conversation about anything. Nothing is off the table. I can have conversations in that, and I can lean on and be leaned against on certain things. And I have no issue, no matter what. If it's, I so believe in the color black. Well, you feel blue is the color of choice. And we can have our differences on that and no problem. And we'll come into the middle of what should be the color painted inside of our life.
Well, that's the thing.
There's the responsibility.
You have party A, party B, which forms party C. Right. And I think both A and B need to protect C. Right. And I had this talk with you, Kelly, the other day, actually, where if you have two people in a relationship, they both need to protect that relationship.
There's that sacred space.
That's it. And don't let anybody penetrate that space. Don't let people fuck with it. Don't fuck with it yourselves. And what should be the desired outcome is resolution.
Right.
And if both
accountability.
Both parties take accountability, for example, you try and broach a subject with somebody and you're coming at it, humbly, peacefully, and you're looking for resolution, but the other person is triggered by something you said.
Right.
And, they go off on a tangent or whatever. I can still own that and say, I'm sorry that what I said triggered you. That was not my intention. That's not the place I was coming from. This is what I meant. Right.
Well,
and
I think what we have, sorry. No, I think what we have to be, sorry, go ahead. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, and then that person, it's their responsibility. It's their reaction to that. That's their responsibility. Right.
Yeah. Because if you go in always thinking about, I'm responsible for their feelings, you're really not talking about the core of the matter. Because you're more worried about how they're going to respond than what you want to bring to the table. I'm bad for that, right? Because I always want to kind of make things smooth. So I'm worried about this person and the lighting and the time of day. But really, it's just if you come with an open heart and honesty and awareness, you're not responsible for their reaction or even how they perceive it if it's coming from a good place. And that's we talked about in our last podcast, intention.
Yeah. Well, and it's too, you have that people can only meet you at a level of the awareness they have within themselves.
Absolutely.
And if you have someone, if you're dealing with somebody who has no self-awareness and you do, they're going to meet you here, lower and you're functioning up here. And what you can do is take it down a notch and maybe use more simple language to address an issue or, understand that, okay, this is how they understand things. So I'm going to try to accommodate that and come at it from this angle instead of this angle. Again.
Yeah, I love using analogies.
Oh, you're the fucking best
because it helps me understand and when I'm presenting to somebody and I think it helps that person sometimes when you use analogies that they can relate to.
Oh, it does me for sure.
You're not responsible for the outcome, but if you can present it with kindness and patience, you'll be okay.
Is the important part.
What's that?
Patience is the important part.
Yes.
Maybe not so much kindness, depending on the job.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm a very patient person.
That look at them like, are you getting there yet? How else can I explain it so you can understand? I don't mind doing, but I'm not moving. I'm not stepping away from my standards.
Yeah.
Right.
And you say you go and accommodate people. I don't fall lower than third shelf. Like that's as far as
you'll only do it. Yeah, you'll only do it so much, right?
Far. So if you need me to bring you up to this first level, how would you like to climb?
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing.
Fair.
You need to step up.
Smart.
You need to step up, right? Like I'm happy
that takes going through that crap to get to that level. Like I said, age and maturity are there in the wine as it grows.
Yeah, and experience.
Yeah.
Before I'd be off the fucking handle. Like, what do you mean you don't understand? How much more do I need to fucking say this?
Yeah.
Like I'd be like, and now, just like I said, in the types of relationship that I have now, it's like there's nothing on the table that can't be discussed. There's nothing off of a topic that can't be resolved, and there's nothing of judgment, no matter how twisted something might be, how weird sounding it might be to me. That's their normal. And then I have to think, what the fuck to this day is normal? Like my normal and standards
we talk about all the time. Like
not the same as somebody else. But you know what? Go polka dot unicorn, boo boo. Go.
Yeah.
Be happy. I have no problem. Do you need me to buy you some hay? Whatever. I don't mind doing something like that. But when it comes to somebody joining into a relationship with someone else and stuff like that and having that, you have to really know yourself better and understand that they're not the same. They weren't raised the same.
That's right.
They weren't in the same. They might have similarities, but you know, again, you're only held responsible for yourself. I don't.
What I like too, I think, when you have two people, whether it's on a friendship level or romantic level, where they can come to the table and say, you know, like, listen, I have trauma around this subject, for example, and you know, I just want you to be aware that these are triggers for me. So if I get triggered, it's my responsibility to come to you and tell you, okay, I was triggered. And, you know, are you able to take accountability for that, for something you might have said, didn't intend, might have said or done though. Right. And it's, I think if you can own your triggers too.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Take accountability for your triggers. I think that's really important too, because that contributes to the health of the relationship.
Because your triggers are your triggers. Your feelings are your feelings.
They're yours.
That's it. They're yours. People aren't accountable for that. You know, like you have to bring that to the table solely.
That's it. You know, and then there's the whole, like, you're responsible for your own happiness, but in a relationship of any kind, the other person is also responsible to either contribute to your happiness or take away from it. And if they're taking away, they have to be accountable for taking away. And it's their responsibility, I think, to contribute to it. Does that make sense?
And that's why we say you walk away from the table. When you come back, do you talk about you brought this onto us, or do you talk about we have a problem? How are we fixing this?
It's a central issue.
That's the switch.
That's the C of the A and the B, right? Yeah.
100% agree. 100%.
Yep.
And I throw humor around as a blockade for myself.
Of course,
know, you're an avoidant.
Yeah, I do. I'm king on that in my fam. Like I'll do that for reflection because I just don't like tension. I hate it because I know what it does for me. My trigger is tension. Like if there's somebody that I care about, like because I have no fear, because I have stupid strength, because I know what I know, I'll bash the piss out of this guy for doing that.
Right.
Like I tendency go into scare mode of I have no fear of going, but I need to control that. Like I need to back away from it because it's cost me relationships and it's cost me things with my kids as well. So I need to draw back on that. Now, do I lose it? No, it's there. How much more do you want to poke a lion before he needs to roar and let you know who's the king of the fucking jungle kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's my responsibility to contain that and control that. It's not her responsibility. It's not his responsibility. It's not their responsibility, anything like that. It's mine.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So,
well, getting back to triggers, I mean, everybody is at a different level with their triggers and their healing.
100%.
Yeah, so it's revisiting that table every so often and being like, okay, this is where I'm at. It used to be a 10, now it's a 5. So there you can move forward with new things, new challenges, new responsibilities when you've kind of really honed in on the ones that were first brought to the table. Because if you're constantly outsourcing healing, that's not good either.
No, and everybody's into that. I'm in my healing stage. Well, that's great and everything. Oh, I can't have a relationship because I'm in my healing stage. That I find turns into an excuse. Like sometimes, you know what? Sometimes talking about it with somebody and somebody that you have in your life that's there is another way of healing.
Absolutely.
I'm big on that too. Communication. Connection. You know, and Kelly and I, we talk about it all the time now too. Like even doing this podcast has brought up wounds for us, you know, things that we thought we processed. And we're like, wait a minute, that when we touched on that subject, it kind of took me down this road again. And I thought I had done that quote unquote healing portion of it. Right. And, you know, Jason, you called me out yesterday, you know, where you said like, well, you're doing all these things that you're supposed to be doing. Journaling, you know, whatever, meditating, is it working for you?
Yeah. What are you doing
working for you? You know, like how are you healing? Where does it start and where does it begin?
What are you doing for you that makes you happy? Me, it's motorbike.
That's it.
If I'm pissed off and gone, it's motorbike and travel. And I do that. I just disappear. I get lost in it. Like my helmet, like we said before, knows everything.
That's it.
Right.
That's it.
Right?
It's true. I know for me, it's hiking or being on the water or physical activity of some kind. I have to go. And if I'm in a mood, if I'm triggered by something, I will go and I will exert myself physically because that's how I process it. I have to get it out. I have to be sweating, breathing heavy, whatever that looks like, you know, and then the anger dissipates, right? I come down a notch and then I'm able to, and then I'm like, okay, now I'm tired. Then I'm mentally tired. I'm peaceful.
Well, it's that outlet.
Now I can,
you need it.
I can,
you need that outlet.
Yeah. 100%. I agree with you, Cal. 100%. You need an outlet.
That's when I didn't play music for a good chunk of time. You know, I was trying to hold on to other things and I wasn't getting that fix. And then when I picked up the guitar, I was like, oh, this is home. This is home for me.
Right? You need to feed yourself. You need to feed yourself. You can't run on empty forever.
No.
That's right.
So feed your soul, feed your passion, feel your thing, and trust me, the light will turn back on. You have to find that spot, just like quitting smoking or anything like that. You have to find that spot where enough is enough. I need to change.
Do you think people may lack responsibility or accountability because they're still kind of in the punishing themselves
100%
mode? Yeah, I think so too.
That makes sense.
Because if you sit in that, you're just kind of punishing yourself, right? And then trying to face the truth of it.
I've been guilty of that.
Right.
Yeah. Totally guilty of that.
Yeah.
I used to be scared of group therapy. And after the session of times that I had with a certain person in my life for 14 years, I went into, I thought, I was raised in the fact men don't go to talk about their feelings.
Right.
That's right.
If you do like that, you're a wuss.
Yeah.
Like whatever. But I did. And then my therapist at the time said, what do you feel about group therapy? To fuck no. Like, I don't want everyone else to know. This isn't AA for me. I'm not going to, hi, my name's Jason. I'm not into that shit. But I'll tell you, I went to it, fucking loved it. The best thing in the world. You realize you're not really that bad.
Amazing.
Everyone is bad in sense.
Once you have your peer group, you know, like you find your people, and Like, I used to be the same way. I would be like, I am not going to go fucking hold hands and sing Kumbaya with a bunch of people that have the same goddamn problem as me. I know we're all fucked up. I know everybody has the same issues, but I don't want to hear other people's. But I think it's once you hear their healing journey or at what point they are in their journey, I think, like you said, it makes you feel more human and you realize you're not alone. And I think feeling alone is like an epidemic right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, social media has made that possible, even though it is social in some sense. It's alone. Yeah, 100%.
You socialize alone, and it's an oxymoron, right?
Yeah. And the hardest step is that first step, second step, and third step. I don't believe in just the first step. First step is acknowledging the fact that you have that. What am I going to do to it? Take the second step and make that motion happen. And the third step, accept it and keep going. So we don't follow that pattern. And the thing that happens is that then shows, is it ugly? What is it? And accountability does get done. But when you find that there are people in the similar situations and you get to do and understand them, and like you said, finding your people, because there could be 20 people in that group, and out of that, 4 are you got that magnet to, that vibe, that bond to. I think, and then out of that group, counseling with one another, like, oh shit, I use tea. I had a tea on this, or you know what I did? I went kick the shit out of a fucking bag for an hour. I bruised the shit out of myself, but every time I touch that bruise, it's great. Some people fall into the side of life that I'm in, and they want that abuse to get that thing out. Like, it's just that type of thing. And you find your cookies, you find your relatives in some sense. The family you build in friendships and bonds can grow in that. And then finding accountability is so much easier. When you actually get to that point.
Because you hear other people, you hear, their humanity, that they fucked up, they did this, they did that, and you're like, wait a minute, I did the same thing. And they said it out loud, and I haven't been saying it out loud. That's it. They said it out loud, but I haven't, and they feel better. So maybe I ought to try something different.
Yeah, accountability is not about shame.
No,
it's not about shame. It's about self-respect.
That's the line we have to separate.
Yeah, it's about self-respect.
100%.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that we've had an amazing conversation, I think, today. Yeah, amazing.
I know. See, I'm fucking brilliant. I'm like, Jason needs to come on the show.
Yes.
I'm like, he's gonna spice things up,
Yeah.
But yeah, no,
it's
joining us.
It has been. In our next episode, we actually have the next couple of episodes planned.
Yes. What are we calling them? Oh, what's going on?
Yeah, I don't know what we're going to call them yet, but it's definitely about recovery. Not active addiction per se, but different types of recovery.
Well, just the recovery from trauma, recovery from relationships, recovery from your childhood. There's so many elements, and it's a spectrum, right? And it's not just drugs. There's so many, like we might touch on that, but it's not all about that, right?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about personal recovery, mental and emotional recovery, addiction and sobriety, holistic spiritual recovery. So it's I think it's going to be a good listen.
I do too. Part 1 and part 2 we've already decided.
Yeah.
So yeah. But I'm willing to have you back, Jason. I don't know, Kel, what do you think?
I'm game. Thank you so much, Jason.
I'm going to give you a rating between 1 and 10.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm a 13.
Yeah,
I have arrogance. I am accountable for that.
Right. Yeah, exactly. There you go. I'm an arrogant son of a bitch. So yeah. Yeah.
So please subscribe, all that fun stuff. Even send us an email if you have some thoughts that you'd like to share with us, or questions or concerns. Reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you.
Make some comments, interact, because I think that's important too. I think we'd like to know, I know I would, if I've made sense to anybody else, if something that we've discussed has touched anybody else on a personal level.
Or if we haven't, we're open to that too.
Right? Constructive criticism.
Kelly to throw in that.
Right?
Stop pleasing people.
I know. Thank you for calling me on my shit, Jason. I appreciate it.
See, he's good for that. He's good for that. I know. That. He's a good little man to have in your pocket. You know,
this is amazing.
Is that a leprechaun joke?
100%.
Oh damn. Well, before this gets any crazier, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you in our next episode. Have a great afternoon.
Peace out, friends.
Bye.